everyone, it's the end of the month, and you know what that means? Well, sometimes, but mostly, I should say. It means that we're gonna focus and hone in on viewer comments. And I'm gonna tie this one directly to my series, The American Negro Experience in the Tabletop RPG culture. So we're gonna try to get two birds with one stone here. Before we get into that, if this is your first time coming through the channel, I wanna welcome you all, and I wanna welcome my Leets back. What's up, Leets? And of course, we gotta do a little something special for my Primo Leets. What up? This is RPG Elite, y'all, and this is the place where I focus on putting the RP back in the RPG. The way I do that is by giving you tools, tips, tutorials, and real talk, which is the kind of video we're gonna talk about today, about the tabletop RPG space and culture. Why do I do all of that? So that you can have a more immersive and enjoyable tabletop RPG experience. Now, before we actually get into the video, I want to remind you guys, if you want to get in on the classic mini adventure and you want to be interviewed for, by the way, the last slot, yeah, we only got one more slot left. So if you want to be interviewed for the last slot for the mini adventure that wraps up the classic Traveler series that we're going to do, and that's going to happen in October, but we're going to record this in August. So I'm trying to get ahead of the game, y'all. And the last day to actually apply is tomorrow, May 31st. So if you still want to get in on this, or at least want to be considered, because obviously we got a whole bunch of people to interview, and like I said, one slot, that's it. So how exactly are you going to be able to be a part of this? Simple. Down in the description below, there is a link. That link is going to take you to a landing page. That landing page is going to have my pretty little mug on there with my finger pointing down. You're going to need to put your name and your email address in there and click that blue button, and that is going to be it. You'll be part of the LEET Squad. That is the best way. Now, if you don't want to be a part of the LEET Squad, that's fine. You can just go and send me an email directly. However, LEET Squad members get first dibs. I'm just saying there are perks and more perks coming to be part of the LEET Squad. So you might as well just go over there, do it, join the fun, y'all. You can unsubscribe anytime you want to. No pressure, know what I mean? But again, you only have until tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day, because on June 1st, we're stopping all interviews. And I'm just letting you guys know, it may be we might not choose anybody. We're just that picky. You know what to do if you're interested. All right, let's get into these comments, y'all. I want to hear from y'all, and you want to hear from y'all with this whole Negro experience, the American Negro experience. What's going on? Let's get to it right now. All right, well, this comment is coming to us from my video, The Lie of Race Representation, Part 2. And Adam Bragg says this: a possible fourth trait would be divisiveness or divisiveness, however you want to say that, as in it serves to divide the RPG community along race lines. As one saying goes, you get more of what you focus on. Oh, I love that quote. You get more of what you focus on. What do you want your life to be? What do you want it to be? You want to focus on drama all the time and complaining all the time and whining all the time about this, that, and the third and why it ain't happening to you. Is that what you want to focus on? You get more of that if that's what you focus on. You get more of that. Or do you want to focus on positivity, having a great experience at the tabletop RPG gaming table, right? Do you want to up your game, which is what we focus on here? See, I don't do a lot of these kinds of videos because I don't like focusing on the drama. And you guys know, even when things happen in the tabletop RPG community that's considered to be big news because some silly company has done something stupid, I don't cover it. Because what I want to focus on is those things that's going to help build community and build individuals in the community. This is what this is about. That is part of the agenda. That is what I want to focus on. If things ain't happening right in your life or at your table, you might want to ask the question, well, what am I focusing on in my life right now? Maybe that might be the place where you want to start and where things can change. Let me finish this comment by Adam. The more people decry the inadequacies of the racial complement of RPGs, the more people declare, factual or not, how this race or that minority isn't being represented enough or correctly in a fictional setting. The result is people are mentally and emotionally focusing more on the divisions between the different real world races, cultures, minorities of the players of the game than they are focusing on, here it is, y'all, something that I have been saying a lot lately, but let me end up the comment by saying this is, hear it, check it, the playing of the game. We just want to play the game. Why are we bringing in all this baggage into our mental vacation? We just want to play the game. And companies get in on this too. They've hopped in on this too as well, right? And trying to put it in the beginning of their books and all the rest of that. Listen, just make the game and we'll play the game. That is the contract between the publisher and the players. Make the game and don't be telling us about what we're going to do and all the rest of that. We've grown enough to know that this is what we'll do, okay? Stop kind of virtue signal and do that stuff and just make the game and we'll play the game. And there's a whole bunch of people who just need to focus on playing the game instead of focusing on, just like Adam was saying, divisions and race and all the rest of this stuff. This is a fictional game where we're coming up with fictional things and ideas so we can collaborate and create a story together so that we can have fun. Bringing all that nonsense into it because, I don't know, maybe misery loves company or something, but you ain't bringing that into my game. Oh, nah. I don't care if I'm a player or a GM because I'll be the one to say something. So let's just focus on playing the game. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate your comment. This comment comes from the granddaddy of videos on this channel, 4 reasons why Black people don't play tabletop RPGs. And this one is from Raven Star Evans. And she says, I've always wanted to play RPGs, but didn't know anyone who played. Had no access and was a young Black girl, so I doubt anyone would have taken me seriously anyway. Edit, to find this channel, I literally had to type in Black RPG and still had to scroll a bit to find it, so there's that. Okay, I feel you part way. I don't feel you totally. The didn't have access thing, nah, I don't believe that. Okay, we've had the internet for a long time now, all right? So if you've had the internet within the last 20 years, you had access. If it was before that, then you had a bus, because I know the inner city places have a bus. I think what you're doing is conflating no access to ignorance. Because if you had a bus, did you actively look out? Did you look inside of the yellow pages at the time? And for those of you who don't know what yellow pages is, you need to do a little bit of research. But did you look inside the yellow pages to see where there were places, you know, selling tabletop RPGs? I guarantee you there was a bus that went by there. And if you really wanted to do it, you would have really went there. And so this whole idea of access, because you're not the only one who said this, and I'm not getting on you, I'm just saying, this whole idea of didn't have any access, yes, you did. You just had ignorance of your access and how to get there. That's it. Because I lived in the middle of nowhere in a trailer park with farm fields around me, and I found it because that's where I got introduced to it. So the no access thing just doesn't hold any water whatsoever. That's why I just throw that out of the water. Now, I do agree with probably people wouldn't have taken you seriously, especially in the Negro community. They really wouldn't have taken you seriously, and you probably would have been, you know, vilified for even considering playing a tabletop RPG. But we'll get to that in a second on some of the other comments. You have this channel, you can stay here, you can learn things, you have the internet, you have virtual tabletops, you have total access now, you should be good to go. So I hope you have an RPG Elite session sometime soon, and thank you for your comment. This comment comes from the same video as the first comment, The Lie of Race Representation, Part 2, comes from Robin Allen, 7794. This is what he says. He says, I myself am considered by many to be Negro. I game with a group that is diverse in ethnicity. I can confidently say that diversity in the RPG rulebook is absolutely of zero priority for any of us. This is why I don't understand why companies feel the need to, why? I mean, if you just want to put it in there in terms of, you know, having different art, that's fine, right? But you start writing stuff in there, right? And I'm just like, okay, stop doing that. We do that. Just make the game. Let's continue. The biggest priorities are the setting and the adaptability of the rules. None of us care if the characters in the book are Negro or Asian or Hispanic or any other racial group. Why? All caps, y'all. We make up our own characters regardless. Did you get that? That's why I'm saying, why are companies trying to, you know, cater to a small minority of individuals who cry and are triggered about everything and whine about everything when it's the rest of us who are paying the money? Why? It's a bad business strategy. Just make the game and don't get into all that stuff. We will figure that out at the table. Make the game so that we can play the game, and we'll appreciate you for that. Let's continue. Most of the time, I don't even play a human. I've played a snake man, a rock man, a robot, a humanoid cat, and countless other aliens and fantasy creatures. Although I am a straight man, I've even played a female character in one campaign. I'm playing a female character in a campaign right now with my wife and my right-hand man. We've got a little mini campaign going right now to teach my wife how to get into tabletop RPGs because she's never played, but she likes the fact that I play and she's seen me. And so I'm gonna do a whole video on that, by the way. But I'm playing a female character in that campaign as an NPC. Love this girl. Got the whole accent going and everything. Yeah, I'll probably have her on here somewhere at some time. But just play what you want to play. We're going to play what we're going to want to play regardless. So why are you trying to get into all this other stuff and bring in all this baggage? Stop. Gosh, just play and make the game. Robert's going to end it up for us. Check it. When you are playing in an RPG, you have the freedom to be whatever you want to be. There it is. It's imagination. It's collaborative storytelling. It evolves. And we just kind of play whatever we want to play. How long have we been playing this for those of us who've been in for a minute where we just change stuff to fit whatever we want at the table and then we just go about our business? So I just can't stand it when companies do this, let alone when somebody tries to do it at the table. I'll put the kibosh on that in a heartbeat. But when companies do it, it just makes me not want to buy their products. And trying to treat grown folks like children. Stop. Well, there are some young folks that play it. Yeah, but they're not, oh, listen, they're not that young to where they can't make up stuff on their own and do whatever. Come on, stop doing that. Make the game so we can just play the game. And if we just continue to do that only, trust me, everybody else who have all of their tables, they'll do whatever they want to do. They really will. Thank you for your comment, Robert. Next comment comes to us from, again, Granddaddy Video, 4 reasons why black people don't play tabletop RPGs. Marlon Grooms, he's got something to say. Marlon, what you got to say, bruh? Let's take a look at it right now. My frat brothers and I have been playing RPGs since meeting in college. Had you been at UMES, an HBCU, historically black college university, between 93 and 97, you would have seen a table of all blacks playing an RPG. I totally understand this. Now listen now, here's the kicker right here. When I was introduced to the game, and I refuse to mention my name on this channel, my initial reaction was, this is white. I appreciate your honesty and your candor. And apparently something happened in between now and then. We're getting ready to find that out. But people who say that, I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? See, this is some superficial, sometimes ignorant, sometimes just plain stupid, or all of the above. And mostly it's all of the above. It's a dumb statement. Means nothing. means absolutely nothing. It actually implies something derogatory towards Negroes when you say that. And I'm not talking about just saying that they're white. I'm saying that it implies something else, but that's, man, I can do a separate whole video on that, but let's move in and continue with what Marlon has to say, because listen to what happened to him. I gave it a try anyway and was instantly hooked. Well, is that right? Yeah. How you gonna talk about something you ain't never experienced it? Right? Yeah, you can't be shallow like that. If you wanna, I mean, I guess you can be shallow like that, but ain't nobody listening to you. Ain't nobody who's thinking listening to you. That's what I'm saying. Let's end it up. We got to stop letting society dictate what we can and can't do, and that right there is it. You've heard me say it before, and I will say it again. Stop being programmed. Be an individual. Stop going with the group think because, I don't know, what? You're a coward and you don't want to be an individual, or what? I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm throwing stuff out there because that's normally the case. And those who are cowards like to press down on those who are not and call them all kinds of names. Normally some kind of ad hominem attack or whatever, like, oh, you trying to be white. Something stupid like that. No, I'm an individual. You are a programmed robot and you don't know the difference. Just like Marlon says, we need to let society stop dictating what we do. Or really, it's more like this. You need to stop letting society dictate it because you have a will. So if you are doing that, you're doing that because you're letting them do that. Just stop doing those things that are detrimental to your experience for tabletop RPGs. Be an individual, or in life in general. Just be an individual, and trust me, you'll have more freedom and life will become more sweeter. Thanks, Marlon. Appreciate the comment. This next one is from my video, The Lie of Race Representation, Part 1. So now we're going to Part 1. This one is from Andre Rogers 7919, who says, I am a Negro who plays tabletop RPGs, or TTRPGs, and I've never really worried about representation. The "you are trying to be white" thing is absolutely true. I have heard that so much. Glad you are bringing these things up. Yeah. Those kind of people, I normally don't have them in my life. I just cut them off. I'm like, oh, you're one of those. Well,
bye, Felicia.
Yeah, I'm not obligated. I'm not obligated to have stupidity injected into my life. I'm not obligated. And so I won't. Listen, people who say that are, as I've said before, less than zero in terms of importance in my life. I have no obligation to you, and therefore, you're out of here. You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get out of here. We need to stop talking stupidly like that. We need to stop vilifying people for being individuals. Yeah. But, of course, that would mean that you would need at least a modicum of a backbone. Just saying. Thanks, Andre. All right, so this one comes from the myth of the white and the black race, growing the TTRPG community, Part 1. It comes from Christian Yother 541, and this is what he says. This video had me on the edge of my seat, was vibing with every word. I thought the quotes and sources were both provocative and poignant, and it thusly enhanced the point made. This is good content regardless of whether or not you play RPGs. This is content you need to hear if your genus is Homo and your species is Sapiens. I know a lot of people were wondering why I made those two videos. that two-part video talking about the myth of the white and the black race. What does that got to do with tabletop RPGs? Really? Pay attention now of what we have going on, not only in the tabletop RPG culture, but in the culture at large. It matters. Because once you understand what I was talking about in those two videos, then you will understand also that what exactly are we talking about here? Nothing. We're really talking about nothing. And we're really making a to-do about nothing. I could have went way deeper. Shoot, I could have made that 5 videos long. But it's bringing up that point because this is nothing. Why are we bringing this up in the tabletop RPG community? Why? Why are you making this a thing? It never was a thing. And again, I've been playing since the 80s. Never was a thing until it's going back to what my boy Adam said. You know, you get more of what you focus on. That's why I never had that stuff. If you want that stuff and you want to focus on that stuff and you want to fill your life with that kind of negative stuff, then that's you, but that's not what I do. I sit down at the table, I want my mental vacation, I start having fun. That's what I focus on. What are we doing? What are we doing? Thanks, Christian. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you taking the time to comment. I know that these kind of videos, sometimes they get more clicks and views than others, but you guys know I'm not just doing this for views. And I've done a series that has gotten hardly any views at all. I do it in spite of that because, again, it's all part of the agenda and what I am doing. Hey, if you got any value out of this video today, you enjoyed yourself listening to it or whatever, can you do me a solid? Okay, there's these little thumbs like that, you know, there's one over here or one over here, depending on, you know, how you're looking at it. It's down below. And can you do a brother solid? Can you just crush that thing and crush that like button right now? Also, if you want to stick around, even though it's obvious that I have some mental issue, but it's still, if that doesn't, you know, run your way, then go ahead, click the subscribe button and the notification bell as well. Let's go to the question of the vid. I'm excited about this one. As a matter of fact, when I was thinking about this question, I was like, shoot, I think I'm going to grab me some popcorn and I'm going to be watching the comments for this one. All right, here's the question of the vid. What one thing, just give me one. If you want to give more than one, you can, but I'm just looking for one. But what one thing would you desire to simply disappear from the tabletop RPG culture that you believe is absolutely detrimental to it? What thing do you want to see disappear that's detrimental to the tabletop RPG culture? Go ahead, let me know. Down there, y'all. Like I said, I'm going to be sitting up there going, I wonder what they're going to say. All right, guys. Well, you know what that means. That means that's the end of the video, and the brothers got to do is snug go puss.
So exit, stage left.
If you have a game coming up this week, then I want to say to you, happy gaming, y'all. I hope it's an RPG Elite session. So until Friday, God willing, Classic Traveler Tabletop RPG series, we're going to continue with some Starship Economics. So watch these videos right here in the meantime, and until then, peace, y'all. 5,000 leets. Yeah, a brother is, you know, howdy.